All right. Welcome in to Feeling You with Vic Jacobs and PJ. Right here, we're ready to go. We have a show for you today, let me tell you. But we first, before we start off, really, Vic, heart and love goes out to you. And I'd love for you to tell the audience what you've been going through over the last week or so.
Thank you, PJ. And again, thank you to everyone who's fully loaded and hooked into our show. Uh, I'm in a state of grief for my beloved brother, Robert Jacobs, who passed at the age of 93 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He was my hero. He was my king. He was a god among men. He was an incredible sports fan. He loved the New York teams, of course, growing up in Brooklyn, and he loved the Dodgers because he lived in Brooklyn. And when he was a kid, and he even worked at Ebbets Field as a ticket taker when he was like 12 years old. Uh, and he was a devoted Dodger fan, but loved all sports. And he would call me every day these last few years, and we speak on the phone and talking about the sports of the day, the hot topics of the day, and he had incredible takes. And he was so passionate and so wonderful, an incredible brother. I want to dedicate this show and all shows to my hero, a god among men, Robert Jacobs. And he was an incredible entertainer, PJ.
Yeah.
You can appreciate this. He was a singer, he was a dancer, he was a storyteller. He was like Sammy Davis Jr. back in the day. For those who
Wow.
remember the great Sammy Davis, he was like the Jewish Sammy Davis Jr., although Sammy was Jewish. But
Yeah. He converted, though.
he could, yeah, convert it. Rob was
That's right.
a natural entertainer,
Yeah.
incredible storyteller, and used to work the boats from Miami to Havana back in the 50s. But then he got so seasick, he had to stop.
Wow.
But he was just off the charts, talented, loving, incredible father, brother, son. And we love you, Robert Jacobs. And Robert would have been very, very pissed off as I am about the New York Knicks.
Yes. Yeah, I
Um,
can feel the heat from Robert right now, let me tell you. And I see your hat. It's steaming under your hat. Just, I was upset. And I'm not a Knicks fan. I was upset with the way they played, with the way they didn't coach and it didn't fix problems as they came up. They were, I mean, go ahead, take it, but I was as upset as you are.
And it really doesn't matter. I picked the Knicks in seven.
Yes.
Obviously, I thought they were the better team. They had some advantages. I I told you weeks ago, Indiana had certain advantages. Their depth, their flow. They run the ball down your throat,
Yeah.
and they continued to do that. Most games, they took Game Five off. It wasn't so much a Knicks victory as Indiana just taking the Game Five off. But this series was lost in Game One when the Knicks blew a 10-point lead with less than 1 minute to play. One of the greatest choke jobs in playoff history. And
Yes.
from that point on, when you're down 1-0 at home, and you have to win a best of seven against an excellent team, the Indiana Pacers, it's an incredible uphill battle, and the Knicks never recovered from the Game One loss. They, of course, lost Game Two when they got Siakam 39 for Siakam, who was the MVP of the series, who was tremendous. Knicks could never got him.
No.
He was an insane nightmare matchup for the New York Knicks, and Siakam just obliterated them, crushed them, dissected them inside, outside, and Indiana on the break, forcing turnovers. The Knicks was so sloppy,
Oh,
so many turnovers. And listen,
it's
Mikal Bridges never showed up for the series. I want to thank you, Mikal, for for making a couple plays against the Celtics, but you didn't show up
right.
against the Indiana Pacers.
No.
Carl Anthony Towns, so inconsistent, and so many horrific fouls. I mean, even Charles Barkley called him out, saying, "What's with the stupid fouls, man? When are you going to stop doing these stupid fouls?" And that's Charles Barkley, 1-on-one, with TNT,
Yeah.
and bless that show, for just going into Cat's face. Say, what are you doing, man? He never recovered from that. He never adjusted. Um, it was just a horrific effort in Game Six. When you are facing elimination, you bowl with a disdain for death that is sublime in its essence. And there was no bowling with the Knicks. They were down
Ah,
four at the half. PJ.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, Indiana blew them away, and the game was over after 3. There wasn't even a fourth quarter. They lost by 17, 125-108. And they could say it was a step forward for the Knicks. I say it was a great frustrating step for the Knicks because within sight was the finals. They could have beaten Indiana, but obviously Indiana wanted it more and played with more aggression, with more flow, and their pace was intense. The Knicks could never keep up with the pace of Indiana. And, Bronson was bottled up again. Great defense by Indiana, and the way they totally neutralized Bronson in Game 6. Bronson was, wherever he went, there were paces in his jock. And exactly what they did to Halliburton in Game 5. And Indiana just turned the tables, flipped the script, and the Knicks are history, and Indiana goes on. But before we get, to Indiana OKC, I want to say to all Knicks fans, I feel you. I'm feeling you. It was a horrific Game 6, a very frustrating series after, tremendous series with the Pistons and the Celtics, but to fall flat. So to the New York Knicks, you know how much I grew up with you guys.
I can't believe I feel something's coming. I almost can't believe it, but I know.
You see the brick, Nick. Oh. What a lousy effort in Game 6. You let us all down. You have to ball with a disdain for death, sublime in its essence, not a lukewarm run like that with all New York City on its feet and just waiting for you to get to a Game 7. New York, you see the brick. You see it. Begone me, Ukes. Yeah. Eat it, you freaks.
I'm telling you, nobody deserves that brick more than the Knicks do. And just let me say one thing. As a person that, like I said, I like the Knicks, but I'm not a huge Knicks fan. But as I sat there and watched them not adjust over and over to the plays, letting the offense leak out the back and make these easy baskets one after another, no transition to cover that. How can you have 12 coaches sitting there, 6 in one line, 6 in the other, as almost as many players as coaches, and nobody, Vic, fixes that and says, let's get the guy back there. They're transitioning us to death. They're getting these easy baskets, That, for me, and the turnovers were the two killers. That's what I think really sank them. And they never adjusted. And Thibodeau's a great coach. I don't know what his staff was doing. I don't know where he was thinking. I don't know any of it. All I know is you gave them the brick. They're out. What do you think about Indiana now and OKC?
OKC's defense is just impregnable.
Yeah.
They're the best team in basketball. Regular season proved it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. And before we get to the analysis of OKC and Indiana, your point is so salient, PJ, about the transitions that Indiana makes. But just one last point, how weak the Knicks were. After you make a basket, Indiana took the ball and scored like 5 or 6 times after a Knicks basket. Yeah. The Knicks never got back on D.
No.
This is such a fundamental aspect of basketball. You score the basket, you've got to be spaced so you're back on defense so the opposing team doesn't come down on you and put it in your face after you scored. I mean, that just deflates you. The Knicks were deflated because that happened like 5, 6 times. Knicks score a basket. Indiana takes the ball and scores right after the Knicks basket.
And they leak the guy out the back. Yeah, they leak the guy out the back.
Defense. It was so sloppy, Paul. It was just so, because New York basketball is king. Yeah. Basketball is divine. Yeah. And to see the Knicks really destroy the essence of New York basketball in Game 6, what we're so proud of is our defense. And I put myself as a New Yorker because I grew up in New York. Of course, I'm a boy of the boroughs.
Yes.
Born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. Yes. And I love the Knicks growing up, and I love the theory of defense and the way New Yorkers' defense is very, very close to their hearts. So the way they lost with Karl Anthony Towns with those insane fouls, and
but it brings
Bronson doesn't play defense. He played defense once against Halliburton a little bit,
right?
And they won that game, but they don't have the dedication to D.
No.
The D will set you free,
Yeah.
and the D has set Indiana free because they played defense when it counted. And of course, OKC and Oklahoma City is an incredible team. You're not going to see threes from the Pacers like they buried them against the Knicks. They're not going to be there because Oklahoma City's defensive spacing is unbelievable, and they have people who want to play defense. You know, Lou Dort,
Yeah.
Caruso,
Oh,
Williams. They have people who want to play defense, and that is their calling card,
yeah.
defense. And that
Yes.
is why they're the best record in the NBA. That's why they've destroyed teams in the West, and that is why they are going to eliminate Indiana in
Ooh,
six.
six.
Oklahoma City, they're too tough. They're too
Well,
tough.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a run fest. It's going to be fun to watch. Both
Good
these
pace.
teams get out and run. That's their game. So I mean, but they're not going to run one team down that way because both those teams can run, run, run.
And they're
But
deep. I mean, how deep is
and they're
Indiana? You
deep.
saw the bench. That was another key factor. The Knicks had no bench. The Knicks
No
have
bench.
a bench from hell,
Yeah,
and it's so thin.
yeah.
Indiana's bench is strong. Again, McConnell and Obi Toppin, the former Knickerbocker with the
Oh
revenge,
yeah,
18 points. Yeah, we didn't mention that,
Woo.
but Obi Toppin, it's a
Yeah,
former Knickerbocker. They
yeah.
let him go, and look what he did for Indiana. But
I
the
know.
Indiana bench is deep,
Yeah,
and they run you. They run the ball. OKC runs, but OKC can also slow it down. I like the Thunder a lot in six
yep.
just because their defense is so insane.
I like the call. I'm with you on that call. I like that call. I think Reggie Miller isn't going to like you, but that's okay.
Ah.
I'm with you. I think OKC in six. Let's do that. Let's stay there.
I love it. And of course, Indiana has also had a playoff drought of 25 years with the finals. So they're there. So, congratulations, Indiana,
Yep.
and their fans and
Yeah.
John Mellencamp and the whole bunch over there.
Oh,
So, they're thrilled.
Caitlin
But
Clark, all of
Timothy
them.
Chalamet, I want to give him special credit for being such a devoted Knicks fan, for even,
Yes.
flying out to Indy, with Jenna last night
Oh,
and rooting on the Knicks. So Timothy Chalamet, I want to give him special credit as a Knicks fan for being so devoted. And obviously, the Knicks fans were unbelievable, but they're bummed out. And it's gonna be a long season. It's gonna be a long off season, knowing that we were within, 2 games of the finals.
yep.
And really, it just is as good a chance as Indiana to win that series. I think the Knicks may have been slightly favored, but not to show up in the second half
Didn't
of
feel
Game
like
Six.
it. Didn't feel like
Didn't feel like Indiana
it.
seems
No.
to have the
Didn't feel like
control.
it.
I mean,
In fact,
after game one, you can't lose a game one at home in the
no.
playoffs.
Right.
And then they lost game two when they got Siakam'd, who were 39 in game two.
But
Siakam
Vic,
every game destroyed the Knicks.
this is what I'm feeling, and I think we should jump to the Lakers because they're looking for a center, but I bring the Knicks into this because I feel like the Lakers and the Knicks are kind of at the same pace. They're a step behind these teams that can run and shoot. And the Lakers, I don't think, I'm saying it right now, I don't think a center is going to solve the Lakers' problems. It's going to solve their problems in terms of they might take another step up, but I don't think they can win it all without adding another three-point shooter in along with the center. They don't have it. They don't have enough. And it's like they're good and we know who they have, but you add a center, even if you add what is it, Miles Turner from uh, Indiana.
Indiana?
Yeah, you add him. He's a good shooter. He can play center. He probably gives the most balance if you're going to go after a center for the Lakers. But still in all, I don't know how do you feel about that? I feel like they're too slow. I feel like they need another young guy that can run aside from Reese.
Yeah, Austin
Reese.
Reeves is untouchable. The Knicks will not trade him.
No.
I know they have their sights set on Ngannou from Atlanta,
Oh.
23-year-old young blood out of Chino Hills. He used to run with the Ball brothers at Chino Hills High School. Ngannou for Atlanta would be an amazing pickup. He's 6'10", very athletic. I don't know what the Atlanta Hawks would want for Ngannou, but that's the kind of guy the Lakers need to compete because they got blown out by the Los Lobos. Minnesota destroyed them. under the
It's
boards. Rudy
it was
Gobert.
embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
It wasn't bad. It
Really
was
was.
humiliating. It was
Embarrassing.
humiliating for the
Yeah,
Lakers that series.
yeah.
But yeah, they need a center. But Austin Reeves, I think, is untouchable.
I think he is. But what about? I hate to see them get rid of Hashimura, and they're talking about maybe.
Rui, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Listen, if you have to give to get. You
I
have to
know.
get to give.
Yeah,
Um, Hachimura is still a valuable asset. He's
yeah,
tradable because they need help at the rim. Hachimura
yeah.
doesn't help you at the rim. He's a nice player. Obviously, he'll get you, 12 and 8 or 12 and 10. But they need a rim protector. But yeah, exactly, Paul. They need a 3-point shooter. They have a lot of needs, the Knicks, to move up in
They
the
do.
West. The West is so competitive.
Yeah.
They need a
Right.
lot. They need a lot of additions.
Yep.
Because remember, at this point, they're a first round elimination team in 5. I mean, that's horrific.
It was
You get
horrific.
to the playoffs. They had a nice run at the end of the regular season, but that was basically a mirage because once you got to the Lobos, Minnesota destroyed them underneath, and
It
you
wasn't a series.
it
It
was
was.
not. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing for the Lakers.
Yeah.
So they need a lot of help. Palinka's got a lot of work to do, but
Yeah.
that's why they pay him the big bucks. He's got to
Yep.
go out and make deals, find players, diamonds in the rough,
Yep.
people who can fit within their cap system. And listen,
Yeah.
Lakers and Knicks, when they're playing good basketball, it's great for the league. It's great for America. That's
Hey,
how
let's
I
talk
feel, PJ.
about
It's great for America.
Get to America. I love it. Let's make the Lakers great again. Um, the Dodgers are making America great again.
What a series!
What a series. I
Yankees,
mean,
Mets, Yankees. Well, then the Mets
right.
will come in, but
Yeah.
first the Yankees, and here comes the Yankees winning 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, they come in
Hot.
hot to
Hot.
Dodger Stadium. Dodgers reeling. I mean, blew a game in Cleveland. Their bullpen imploded with Vesia, getting blown up again.
Yeah.
Tanner Scott, who they paid insane money for
Oh,
in the offseason,
yeah.
blown up, giving up home runs.
Yeah.
It seems like every other outing. And game 1, they're down 3. I mean, Otani-san
Oh,
hits the home run. Judge hits the
does
home
it?
run, but they're down. They're losing 5-2. It looked like it was over. And I'm talking to my beloved bride, Yoko Sakamoto, as we're watching the game. How can they come back? The
Yeah.
Yankees are hot. The Yankees are this. They got Max Fried going, the best pitcher in baseball right now, and they chip away, chip away. Otani hits another home run, and then
Oh,
they start singling them to death. And, Smith has been insane this series. Will Smith,
insane.
America's catcher, has been incredible. Freddie Freeman
Oh, come
hitting
on.
370.
Yeah.
It's a doubles machine. This series, and how about Hai-Sung Kim?
Oh,
Hai-Sung Kim,
come
the
on.
4-hit game, the home run,
Yeah.
playing in place of Mookie.
And some
This is with
great,
no Mookie, PJ, out with
no
the
move.
fractured toe.
Right. But Kim made a great play too.
Yes,
Unbelievable play. And I mean, he's coming around quickly. Kim is coming around quickly. I mean,
Kim has just been dynamic.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
an electric burst. He's a weapon the Dodgers haven't had in a long time called speed,
right.
and players love him. And
Yeah,
he's a tough out. He makes contact,
yeah,
but he hit the home run against, and that 18-run uprising
yeah.
was incredible. I mean, who didn't hit a home run? I mean, it was insane. I mean, everyone home. I mean, the only one who didn't hit a home run was Otani-san.
That's right.
Only a couple
He
singles.
let
That was it.
everybody else do it. He didn't need to do it.
And Andy Pajes.
Yes.
Got to give
Oh,
the kid so much credit because he was, on his way to Oklahoma City maybe 6 weeks ago.
yep.
Was down, couldn't hit. All of a sudden, he's been the best clutch hitter on the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he's
And of
really
course, Teoscar has been sensational. You go up and down the lineup. It's good to see the back of the lineup, hitting. And of course, Tommy Edmonds back.
I love Tommy.
Tommy's
My
back.
man. Tommy's my
Oh,
man.
I know you love Tommy Edmond.
I
He's
love it.
back.
Yeah.
And the lineup is deep. Even you lose Mookie with the fractured toe, and
Mhm.
they still take care of the Yankees. At the stadium. That's how deep they are. And the pitching came through, which was unbelievable. Knack had a nice game.
But
Knack pitched
Vic,
really well for
oh,
the
that,
Dodgers.
very well. Think about the frustration of the Yankee team, all the money they invested after they lost the World Series to the Dodgers last year, and they came with some great players. They've added great players, and they have to be so frustrated to be in this situation after adding all those players. And as of this moment, who knows down the line, it's not paying off for them against the Dodgers so far.
Well, it was supposed to be a totally revenge series
Right.
for the Yankees. They had everything to avenge
Yeah.
losing the World Series in five,
Yep.
and the way they did, with the errors and the collapse. And so they had reason to come into Dodger Stadium and sweep,
Oh,
but forget about it.
forget about it.
Just forget about it.
Yeah.
The Dodgers just stepped up on the Friday night when they were down 5-2
Oh,
and came back and won that game 8-5. And again, Dave Roberts celebrating his 53rd birthday over the weekend. Incredible move. This is what smart managers do. When your bullpen implodes, you put them right back in. You don't give them a chance to breathe. You give them a chance to prove themselves.
yeah.
Brings in Tanner Scott
Yep.
in the eighth inning, first and third, 2 outs. Everyone is going, oh no, Tanner Scott's in again. Scott gets the fly out
Shut
to
him
center
down.
field.
Yeah.
And then Vesia for the ninth. Vesia got blown up in Cleveland. 1-2-3, ninth. Vesia proving himself again. So brilliant move by Dave Roberts to put the guys right back into the fire.
I
And
loved
they
it.
produced. It's all about confidence. A bullpen guy's mind
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah.
They're not wired like the rest of us. They have to let it go. They have
Yeah.
to let whatever happened. If you have a bad outing or a good outing,
Yeah.
just execute your pitches. Nail your quadrants. Um, you know, that's what you have to do. You have to get outs. How to get outs. And of course, the return of Kirsch was fabulous. He had 5 nice innings in Cleveland.
Yep.
Dodgers need that because, of course, it's well documented how beaten up the pitching staff is. And again, Evan Phillips out for the year now
I know.
for Tommy John. He
Yeah.
was an integral member of the staff last year in driving him to the World Series.
Yep.
He's out. Yates is out in the bullpen. Of course, Trinan's out. Gratterall's out.
Yeah.
Starting pitching, 3 starters are out.
Oh,
You know, uh,
but
Glasgow to the 60
Yamamoto
day.
is in.
Yamamoto's pitching great,
He's
but
pitching great.
Suzuki's out.
Yeah.
Snell's out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing that they're in first place
No.
and playing such good baseball. That's a testament to the Dodgers, their
Yep.
depth. It's all about depth. If, Mookie goes out, and Mookie's a MVP, man. You lose him for a series, you think, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no. But here comes Kim. Here comes Miggy Rojas.
Yeah.
Here comes Kike Hernandez. They're deep,
They're
and
deep.
they're proven veterans who produce.
Yeah.
That's the key. They produce in big games, and
They've got what you say. They've got confidence. Those guys,
yes.
you just mentioned, they're confident guys. Kiki, I loved him out there the other night throwing uh, baseballs. He was
Yes.
pitching. He was
Yeah.
having so much fun wearing that special hat, that helmet.
Oh,
Having more fun. He was great. He's just great. But somebody we got to take our hat off to, Victor, is Freddie Freeman.
yes.
Right? I
Do the
mean,
deed. Do his deed. I mean, that was such an incredible deed of mercy
yes.
and benevolence, Paul. So please lay it down, PGA. I know you want to
Yeah,
give
I
us
mean,
love.
Freddie, whose son went through a terrible time.
Maximus, yeah.
Maximus, his immune system was not working and he was in serious bad shape. But the Children's Hospital of Orange County turned that around. That's an incredible place. We've been there a lot and visited the kids and worked with them and
Our
just,
son was born there,
yeah,
Stony.
yes, yeah.
Uh, Yuko gave birth at Chalk at
Wow.
Children's Hospital of Orange County. They do amazing work.
They have amazing work and excellent staff, just so dedicated. But anyway, all that, they turned Maximus around, Freddie Freeman's son. They got him back to normal. He's great and healthy now. So Freddie Freeman turns around with his lovely wife, and
Chelsea, yes,
yeah,
Chelsea.
they send $1 million in cash to the hospital. And I love
Unbelievable.
that. I love that.
So good.
Oh, it's such a good feeling for everybody. And it just, of course, you don't have to do that because a lot of people don't have that kind of money. But when you do have that kind of money, if you think to do that, it's just an amazing gesture. So my hat is off. I'm not wearing a hat to Freddie Freeman. And Victor, you can tip yours. Put back on quickly.
I love you, Freddie. I mean, Freddie is such a folk hero. Of course, into the
Yeah.
Grand Slam
Yeah.
in Game 1 to
Yeah.
to
Oh,
destroy the Yankees.
yeah.
And but this gift they're so
Yeah.
benevolent, and we wish Max again speedy recovery. And $1 million, Paul. Let's face it. A lot of people have big money, but a lot of people don't give the big money.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And I think that's sad. And I think maybe Freddie will help set the tone for some of these other players to do great things with their money besides just sit on it. Help people out where they need, where they do great work. And these places like, I don't want to do a commercial for St. Jude's and Chalk and all these great children's hospitals, but there's just amazing work going on every day, saving lives of families that can't afford to be there without these donations. They're not there, and their kids are dying of cancer and these terrible things. So anyway, enough of that. Congratulations to Freddie. And
Let
we
me
got
flip. Let me just flip the
oh,
script, do a little yin yang on you.
yes.
Um, how about the top 100 Major League Baseball players in a list of from ESPN, the four-letter, and you would think, hands down, no brainer, number one would be Otani-san, the great Shohei Otani. They rank Otani number 9
Honest to
in
God,
Major League Baseball.
when I saw
How?
that, I went
What?
like this.
What show are they watching? The P Diddy Baby Oil spectacular. I mean, what are they doing?
I had my piece of
Did you hear that
paper
line?
on there, and I went like this. I turned it over. I thought I was reading it upside down, and I mean, number 9.
Number
Come on.
9. I mean, who even comes close to Otani? I know Judge is unbelievable. Judge has great
Legend.
power. Uh, Judge is an incredible hitter, hitting close to 400 this year.
Right.
But Otani-san is set the bar at the 50-50 club,
Yeah.
created 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases.
Yep.
And his speed is unbelievable. He changes games. He has scored like 1 million runs. He leads the league in runs scored every year. And he's going to pitch soon. And when he pitches, he sees of Cy Young caliber.
Oh yeah.
There's no one close to
No.
Otani-san. So to ESPN, I don't know what show you're watching,
Yeah.
but obviously it's not the show.
No.
Otani-san, number one,
That's right.
Ichiban.
That's right.
So to the four-letter, get your sights set on the number one ball player in the world. He's better than Babe Ruth.
Of course he is.
ESPN, you see the brick. You
There
see
it
it.
is. There it is.
Ah, you freak and stung me, you.
They deserve that. They deserve it. Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Otani is in another world.
Yeah, we said it. What about the Angels? How about the nice little winning streak they're on and Mike Trout back?
Good to have Trouty back. He
Yeah.
came back a little early. I don't think the Angels were expecting him to come back. But
Yeah.
he comes back at a 3-hit game, which
Yep.
was great to see. His stroke.
Oh, looking good.
Trouty is fabulous. The Angels are going nowhere. I don't care about the 8-game winning streak. They came back to earth and lost like 5 in a row.
Yeah.
But the presence of Trout and the young kids gives Angels fans a chance to go to the stadium, to
Yep.
go to the Big A.
Yep.
And there's a ray of hope because the young kids were hitting in that streak. And now you have Trouty, to teach the kids because there's a lot of young talent on the Angels.
A lot.
Unproven. The pitching staffs, of course, is from hell. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is Trouty's back.
Trout.
And that's good news for the Angels.
Exactly.
But on the pro football, the
Yeah.
OTAs are in full effect, Paul. The organized sessions are in full effect.
Well, for
And of
some
course,
people, for some
Aaron
people,
Rodgers is in a dark room somewhere in Montana,
that's right.
smoking some sort of mushroom. But no, he's taking care of a lot of personal business.
Yes.
And the Steelers don't know when he's going to come back. But all the sources again say he's coming back. But Terry Bradshaw says let him go to California and eat bark. Bradshaw, a proud Steeler, doesn't like the team being yanked by the chain by Terry Bradshaw. I mean by Aaron Rodgers, and Bradshaw speaks up for his Steelers and says, enough already, enough of
Right.
that.
Right. No, I love that. I think Bradshaw has it a little wrong in terms of when Aaron is here in Malibu, he's chewing on Danica, not chewing on bark. So the guy has his act together. So Bradshaw's a little off on that one, but anyway, I mean, who's to even say he's going to end up with the Steelers? Nobody's committed to that. So this is just all right now floating out there, like he did with the Jets, the same thing. And maybe he'll turn up Steelers, maybe he'll retire. Who knows, right? But as far as I can see, and I don't want to go off on the Steelers, but they don't have a plan. I mean, they put all their pot of gold on Aaron Rodgers, and he's gallivanting around. It's not like he's interested, or maybe he's just going to make him wait, but there's no commitment. So who knows what's going to happen there?
I think well, Aaron Rodgers even told radio stations and various outlets that he's taking care of his personal business with people affected by cancer, I believe,
Yeah,
within his inner circle. So he wants to take care of these people. So I totally understand that. And listen,
yeah,
OTAs, organized training activities. Aaron Rodgers doesn't need that really. He doesn't need to be there for the OTAs. He just needs to be there for the practices and try to lead the Steelers back to their former glory, which is going to be tough. But Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, you never know. I'm rooting for the Steelers. I've always liked the Steelers, but again, these are the OTAs. Everyone's just getting familiar with one another.
yep.
Shador Sanders in Cleveland, just trying to work his way into the Cleveland Brown quarterback shuffle. But these stories, again, the NFL seems to dominate. Even in OTAs, PJ,
I know.
they have such an incredible design on how to strangle the media 365 days.
Well, they do, and I mean, look at they're talking about Stephon Diggs and Cardi B on his his boat cruise, we'll call it.
And the
And
pink substance.
yes, yeah, yeah, and he's not, he didn't show up for OTAs either, and so he's out there, and of course, Vrabel, the new coach, said, we've discussed that, and I'm not gonna talk about what we discussed, but he knew that he was on a boat partying with Cardi B and not at OTAs like he was supposed to be, which I don't think is a great look for a brand new player, and not that he's new, 10 years in the league or so, but new to that team, the Patriots, and he doesn't show, isn't the kind of supportive effort I think that you should have. I don't.
This is not a banana boat incident with LeBron and Dwayne Wade, an innocent fishing boat in
Yeah.
Miami.
No.
This is with, women in bikinis and Cardi B and a
Oh,
pink
come on now.
substance.
Yeah,
And, that's not to steal away. I mean, that's not anyone's way. No
that's
one
right.
wants that kind of mishigas, that kind of aggravation
Right.
on your team. But Stephon Diggs should know better. But he has a lot of money, big contract.
Yep.
Steelers got to work that out, how to
Yep.
pay him out. But some team's going to take a chance on Stephon Diggs because he's still talented, can still put up 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns a year.
Yeah.
But New England needs some stability on their squad. Obviously, Belichick's left. Vrabel's taken over. They need to win. They have a history of winning, tradition of Super Bowl championships, and they have to get targets for their young quarterback May,
Yeah.
right? And they need targets. And Stephon Diggs was a good pickup, but
Great. But
this act of insanity.
yeah,
Um,
active insanity. But is that enough for the Pats? I don't think so. I mean, they're rebuilding. I mean, I think if they can maybe come to the middle of the pack this coming season, but they're not going anywhere, I don't think, I mean, they've got a long way to go, but they are rebuilding. They've got a good coach now, and we'll see what happens
Yeah, I
with it.
like Vrabel. I like Vrabel a lot.
I do too.
I
I
like him a lot. And
Yeah.
listen, they've won so many championships. It's time, for the young blood.
Yeah.
The Eagles again. I
Yes.
see them repeating, but I don't want to get too involved right now. We're only in
No.
OTAs. But I just wanted to sum up my favorite sport, which ended last weekend in Tokyo, Japan, the Grand Sumo Tournament,
Oh, yes.
and there was some amazing matches, and a lot of people were watching on NHK, but it's wrapped up, and the winner was Ono Sato, a 23-year-old young blood. He
Really?
will become your next Yokozuna. He was
Yoko Sakamoto.
14-1 through 15 matches,
Wow.
and in fact, we have a very special commentator who will wrap up some of the action
Ready.
for the 2 weeks in Japan, and she will give us an up-to-date what's happening with Onosato, with the rest of the crew. So let's bring her in.
Okay.
Let's bring her into motion. Yoko Sakamoto
Yes.
will give you a play-by-play on what's went down in Japan these last couple of weeks. First with Onosato. So, will you please go into our picture and give us what's happening the last couple of weeks in Japan?
小野里はすごかったわね。あの人は若いし、 日本人だし、もうみんなから、わーわーされちゃって、一番になりました。
Hi.
Hi.
Yuko summing up Ono Santo's amazing 14 wins in 15 matches. She's very, very happy that he was able to do his brand of sumo week after week. And how about the brothers, Yuko? You're a devotee. You love Wakamoto Haro and Wakataka Kage. How did they do in Tokyo these last 2 weeks?
若本春と、若隆景はあんまり良くなかったけど、すごいわね。もうハンサムで兄弟だし、みんなから好きですね。
Very, very happy.
I agree with that, by
their
the way.
performance. Wakataka Kage was, I believe, 11-4, 12-3. He had a sensational tournament.
Yes.
She was very happy with Wakataka Kage. Wakamoto Haro, not so much. He was a little off. I believe he split. I think he was like 8-7 or 7-8. But she was very, very happy with those guys. And how about Ura, who rocks that pink mawashi? I know you love Ura with the pink mawashi.
裏は本当に面白いですね。もう見るたんびにみんなから騒げて、すごく面白いです。
Loved the electric stylings of Ura, who's so acrobatic.
Yes.
And she loves the way he moves around the ring and just does tremendous work. Even though he may be outweighed by 150 or 200 pounds, he'll still stay in the thick of the fight. And he's just so entertaining and flamboyant. So she loves the work of Ura.
What a great rap.
Of course, the evil one is the fiery Mongolian Hoshoyu, who I pronounce I'll show you, but he's Hoshoyu, who actually beat Ono Sato on the final day, preventing him from a perfect 15-0. And to sum up, I'll show you's performance, which every match is tremendous. He gives you a look of fury. He scares you when you look at him. And Yuko will be giving us an update on what she thought of I'll show you.
Okay.
Whoa!
I love it.
The mask Yuko wears is the look of I'll show you when he comes into the ring, the fiery Mongolian.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful mask.
And Yuko, what did you think of I'll show you? I hear you. I hear you. Thank you, Yuko, for incredible analysis.
What a review.
The Grand Sumo tournament to be held in September. The next tournament in September in Tokyo, Japan. Thank you, domo arigato, Yuko, for brilliant commentary. Right on. Thank you so much.
We couldn't leave on a higher note. Thank you. What a great show. God bless Brother Bob. This is dedicated to him. And thank you all for watching. Please share this. Tell your friends. We'll be back with more next.
I'm feeling you.